everybody. Welcome to B-Town News of the Week. If you missed any of the stories we reported on this last week, well, here's your recap and update for February 23rd. Coming up, we've got Opal Lee coming to the Burleson Library, the Miller's workers on strike, and of course, the Trespasser and Gun that was found at BHS. This week's episode is brought to you by Tilt Vision Art. On Saturday, February 17th, Opal Lee, legendary African-American activist and grandmother of Juneteenth, came to Burleson Library to discuss her legacy and read from her children's book. At age 97, Opal Lee, Texas-born from Marshall, Texas, and was instrumental in getting Juneteenth, the day slavery was abolished in Texas, in Galveston actually, recognized as a statewide holiday and also federally recognized as a federal nationwide holiday in 2021, visited Burleson, Texas Library. The city of Burleson recognized Mrs. Lee's legacy by declaring February 17th as Opal Lee Day in Burleson. This week also saw over 400 of the 500-ish workers at Miller, otherwise known as Molson Coors, go on strike for the first time since anyone I could talk to remembered. While Molson is keeping their statements to a minimum, they've released a statement through their communications officer saying, "While we respect the union's right to strike, we have strong contingency plans in place and those plans are already underway," Molson Coors Chief Communications Officer Adam Collins said. "We deliberately built distributor inventories across the country in recent weeks, and 5 other U.S. breweries have extra capacity, and we are all well equipped to ensure that the consumers will be able to buy their favorite Molson Coors products. At this point, the union has not responded to our last offer, which exceeds local market rates for similar unionized roles. But we remain committed to reaching an agreement that is fair to both our employees and to the Fort Worth Brewery." BtownTV reporter Lori Moon was on the scene on Sunday, and here's that video.
Shut it down! Shut it down! When we don't get it, shut it down!
They want to take our wages, want to take our insurance, and we're not falling for it.
So we are officially on a ULP strike right now, unfair labor practice strike for them not bargaining in good faith. We were currently in negotiations with the company for a union contract, and negotiations reached an impasse by the company's words, meaning that they said they had no more room to give us. We tried to work through a mediator to get a resolution, the Federal Mediation Service. The company would not come off their last best and final offer, so I took it to my membership for a vote, and they rejected the contract from the company by 93%. Roughly 420 of the 520 employees are union members.
Who we are, so we tell them, so we tell them.
The United States, the people of the United States, we need this right now. We're all fighting not only for us, but we're fighting for everybody in this country so they don't have to struggle to pay their bills. This corporation makes billions and billions of dollars, and it's sad to see that we're treated like this. This place here, that sign up there is an icon for Fort Worth and Dallas area. This place was the standard. This is where people wanted to come to work, and it set the standard for all these other corporations, all these people to make a good living. And there's no reason why we can't make a good living. We work hard in that place. In the summertime, it gets so hot, the air is stagnant. We could barely breathe in there, and they don't even want to take care of that problem. So now it's time for all of us American people, us proud Texans here in this state, to fight for what we believe in and what we deserve. And that's all we're trying to do. That's it.
The Teamsters headquarters in Washington, D.C., we get a strike fund through them, and they actually agreed to up our strike fund benefit to $1,000 a week until this gets resolved. The offer the company had on the table was less. I mean, it was that's an appetizing. They made an announcement the other day on their fourth quarter earnings that they made 6 years of profit in 2023 alone. So the offer that they had on the table was about a 2% wage increase. And they made it. We're fighting to keep what we have. That's the best way to look at it. They want to strip everything we have. They want to take away our benefits, give us a less benefits package than we have. Regardless of what you make, everybody should get a cost of living increase, because everybody lives to what your means are. Okay, especially right now when inflation is record high, everybody deserves a wage increase. And what the company's trying to give us doesn't even keep up with inflation.
They only had a $1.5 million cap on all these employees per year. That equals out to about $3,000 a year. It's nothing. It's nothing. And then they go spend all this. They spent $50 million on marketing last year. $50 million. We're just trying to stay as a healthy family living in this United States.
There's so many things that are in this contract that the company's proposing that are divisive. And when you have a unionized contract, you want one equal playing field for everybody. And they're not willing to negotiate on those items that we have on the table. Their MO is it's our way or the highway. And so we took the highway, as you can see.
Molson Coors currently operates 22 different breweries across the Americas. While nobody I spoke to could remember the last time Molson Coors in Fort Worth went on strike, I did find that since 1922, Molson Coors saw strikes from 3 other breweries, 2 in Canada and 1 in the United States. Teamsters are asking for higher wages to deal with higher cost of living due to inflation and also better working conditions. According to Glassdoor self-submitted salaries, the average salary at Molson Coors are roughly $38,000 to $53,000 for floor workers, while the average Anheuser-Busch salary in Texas is $56,768 according to Zippia.com. According to 2021 data from the Bureau of Economic Analysis, the average personal consumption cost in Texas is roughly, that's just the cost of living, rent, everything, is roughly $45,114 per year, according to SoFi.com/cost of living in Texas. The average monthly cost of living in Texas is roughly $3,212. That's the average car payment in Texas, cell phone, energy, median rent, all for Texas, and grocery for 3 in the United States. No word on how the negotiations are coming, but Molson Coors seems to be prepared to wait, as their stocked inventory seems to indicate. Early voting for the March 5th primary is underway, so make sure and register to vote and pay those poll workers some attention. It gets lonely in those little rooms. There are many positions open for this term, too many for me to get into in this video, in the specifics at least. But hit the link in the description, that'll bring up a site where you can type in your address, and it'll give you a sample ballot so you can click through all of the candidates and who all is there. Early voting is at the Burleson Ron Harmon Sub-Courthouse at 247 Elk Drive, Burleson, Texas. That's the one across the street from BHS. Room 212, and is open from 7 to 7 until the 1st. And finally, the most talked about, at least on social media, issue of the week that we covered, the trespasser at BHS and the gun that was found in the parking lot. According to BISD and police, a student let in another student from another district through a side door that was not being watched. And once that student started getting in trouble, they hid in the parking lot. Police nabbed that student, the intruder, and after doing a thorough swap of the parking lot, they found a gun in the car. Police have not said if the gun is registered or belonged to the suspect, the trespasser, if it did or if it didn't, but they said that this was an isolated incident and that there is no further threat or reason to be worried or not to take your kids back to school. BtownTV was given an exclusive press release about the situation. Here is past me reading it. Thursday morning, our BHS administrators were alerted that a student from another district was brought to school with one of our students. Administrators immediately notified the Burleson Police Department and Central Administration. They worked with law enforcement to identify the unauthorized individual and confirm the individual is no longer on campus. BPD pursued every lead aggressively as our students continue to step forward and provide additional tips. We learned the same unauthorized individual re-entered campus grounds outside shortly after leaving. Student tips indicated that the individual was attempting to hide in the parking lot, perhaps in a vehicle. Administrators continued to work with and share information with BPD officers as we received it. Law enforcement swept vehicles in the parking lot, found the individual, and placed him into custody. BPD advised that there is no reason to believe the BHS campus or the Burleson community was at risk. That evening, Principal Lee was able to share a final message with parents informing them that BPD told administrators that officers found a gun in the car in the parking lot. BPD also said they did not have any current information confirming the gun was linked to the unauthorized individual on campus. BPD's investigation is still ongoing, and BISD will continue to cooperate and assist in every way possible. Principal Leek wrote, "I cannot express gratitude enough to BPD for what they did for our students and staff today. They responded quickly and pursued every lead aggressively. I was truly blown away by their relentless efforts. I have never felt our kids were in better hands." He also stated, "I thank our students who stepped forward and provided tips. Their courage was remarkable." To parents, Leek added, "Parents, please take this opportunity to stress how important it is to practice safety. No one should ever hold a door open for someone else. No student should ever try to help a non-student sneak in. They will be caught and consequences will follow." Superintendent Dr. Brett Jimerson said, "Unauthorized entry onto our campuses is unacceptable and will not be tolerated. I encourage law enforcement to prosecute this individual and any other individuals involved to the fullest extent of the law. I am grateful to our campus administrators for their diligence in keeping our kids safe, and I applaud our Burleson police for their swift and decisive actions." So there you go. That's the statement, and that's what happened from Burleson ISD. Now, diving deeper into this story, I read a lot of rumors and talk about this not being an isolated incident, that there are threats from another district, the district where the trespasser came from, about this being a coordinated attempt to inflict harm on the BISD students. I was even sent photos from phones of pictures of screenshots from Snapchat from students that were passed around in the school and amongst message boards on Facebook and everywhere else, discussing all manner of scary situations. I contacted the locals. Oh yeah? I do this myself, guys, at my house. Hey, be nice. I contacted the school district that the supposed student came from, and the Snapchat commotion was relegated towards. I didn't receive word back from them, a press release or anything in time for this video, so I couldn't verify the authenticity of the stories in these Snapchats. However, I could find no record of these incidents at the other school district in question ever happening, so, do with that what you may. Additionally, a BHS anonymously spoke with me about the situation, saying, "All of us were on edge in class that day. Most students were posting about different versions of the story on the school Snapchats. It was a mix of jokes and fear, but things got sorted quickly. After coming back from the 4-day weekend, we all have to present our IDs at all times and around our necks. No one I talk to still feels on edge about it. It seems like after that day we all went back to normal again." Staff has mentioned anonymously on Facebook that students sneaking in other students is an issue that they have been dealing with, and according to the staff questioned, they are working to resolve the issue. The investigation is still ongoing, so specific details about the student's name, their ages, they might be minors, so we can't just jump to conclusions. Their motives or the type of gun that was found in the car have been released. We will update the story if we get more information. And that does it for this week. We are seeing a lot of discussion since since it was first proposed back in January about the new library, the $52 million proposal to build a new library outside of downtown Burleson. City Council hasn't approved or adopted this project into the 5-year plan, seeing as they are concerned with the cost and also the location. There's a lot of discussion happening about it, and we would like to hear from you. What are your thoughts? Send us a message on Facebook. Give us a comment if you are okay with me using your comment in a future episode, or email contact BtownTV@gmail.com. Additionally, if you would like to advertise your business or your message and get it out in front of our engaged, beautiful audience members, that's right, I'm talking about you, send us a message, contact us. It's a great way to get local involvement, get customers right from the area, because hey, that's what we do. We're talking about the local area, local news, Burleson centric. Now that we're growing, that's why I decided to start this thing. I'm doing this whole thing myself, so any help would be appreciated. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you next week.
Bring 5 and down.